I'm going to call to order the August regular meeting of the Danville Board of Education. We'd like to welcome everyone who's here with us tonight. The first item on our agenda is to approve the meeting agenda. Is there a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the agenda as submitted.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion as stated, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes. The next item on the agenda are reports and presentations. First is board member comments. Does any board member have a comment they'd like to make tonight?
I do. I just want to let everybody know the joy that I've had for the last 20 years to be associated with the E.G. Plummer runs. It's quite a unique event. The fact that it's still continuing, and this year I got to see Ed McKinney cross the line, and he did it with a stellar performance.
I was a participant, not a runner. I was a participant.
I'm not sure if he got a medal or anything, but he should have.
Thanks for bringing that to everybody's attention.
You're welcome, Mr. McKinney. But seriously, it really is a cherished event in our school district. Anything to run 20 years consistently with the same guy, a lot of the same runners. Cassie Trueblood's been the only runner to run 20 years, has literally done the race 20 years. So that's a real testament to her. And then
Can I add something to that?
Yes, sir.
Cassie Trueblood put together a quilt with every T-shirt from that race and presented it to EG, which was very, very cool.
That was remarkable. First of all, that they got all the T-shirts,
Yeah.
but it was something else. I think Coach cried when he got that.
There you go, too.
So it got a little teary. But I talked to EG and about the results over the years on how much money has been raised for the cross-country team. To me, it's an extraordinary amount because you think it's just a little race. You know, maybe 80, 90, 100 people show up, and I think it must take at least 30 volunteers. But to date, and I don't have exact numbers, I know this year it raised $2,600 for the cross-country team, and then the last 19 years it's been about $29,000. So every penny counts, and extraordinary thing, and I'm so proud of it because it represents Danville schools so well. So anyways, anybody in the room that's involved and ran the thing, you to be congratulated. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Just appreciate the custodial staff and everybody getting our schools ready and our grounds ready for a great start to a school year, and all the teachers that come in during the summer and get their rooms decorated and looking beautiful for the kids before they're getting paid to do so. Everything just looks fantastic, so excellent job to the staff.
Anybody else? I just want to note a couple of things that are coming up next week. One, and these relate to work that the board will be doing. One is, I think it's on Monday night, there's a hearing on our facilities report, looking ahead at what will be happening with facilities in the Danville School District. Then on Wednesday, we are planning to have a special meeting to look at our tax rate for the school district. Those are both areas where public input is welcome, needed, important. And so anyone who hears this tonight or whatever, as much as we can let people know about these things and get people's voices heard on these things, the better. So I just want to make sure that those are acknowledged, and just echo, you know, the school year is really just a few days underway, and already traditions and big things have happened, and it's been a good start to the school year, and so we're all happy about that. And thanks to everybody who's been a part of that. Next, does anybody else have anything they want to add for the board member comments? Next is our superintendent's report.
I also want to bring greetings from the 2016-17 school year. It's always hard as a superintendent to acknowledge the beginning because you watch all the different pieces come into play to get to this point. And to have two new principals with Sherry Satterley at Fayette Middle, Dr. Catherine Slider at high school, begin with such significant poise and key leadership issues in their schools, and working with their site-based management teams to make sure that the year has gotten off well. They've been tremendous, and I think that anytime you come into a new system and start a new job, there's always, I don't think anyone likes to start that as publicly as a principal does, and they've been able to handle that really well, and I think that's what we see too in the neat things going on in our schools. From pre-K, the preschool began its enrollment today, and will be full going as of Wednesday. So we will have a full cohort of children all the way through the Danville schools, including my own. So of course, if you want to know who's got the toughest job in the district, we'd like to think the superintendent. No, it's the person who's teaching the superintendent's kids. And so we will create a collection to make sure that they're well supported. With that, we encourage everyone to come visit. Doors are open to our schools 24/7, and we'd love for you to come see what's going on in any classroom, in any office at any given time. We are particularly proud of what our students know and are able to do in the facilitation of our faculty and helping them reach their goals. To that end, there's a number of our alumni who have reached some significant milestones and goals that have currently been celebrated in the media. And it's neat to see how the Danville schools identification can carry forward, whether it's Frank X. Walker, whose Affirmation Poets have been nominated by the governor for an award in the arts, although they have chosen not to receive it. It's significant work as that group continues to press on. Ashley Lamb Sinclair, who is Kentucky Teacher of the Year, product of the Danville schools, has a blog in the Washington Post. I think it was ran maybe yesterday, the day before. You can still find it online. We've wrote it on social media, talking about the importance of minority teachers for white children. Talks a great deal of tribute to Mr. Trumbo, who was the avid teacher at the time, which is very reminiscent program-wise to Jobs for Kentucky Graduates, which we've been able to bring back into the Danville schools in the last couple of years. Also, Tyler Green, class of 2005, was honored at the Kentucky State Fair today for the Local Food Hero Award. And all of this even begins from our own honoring of Tony Gray. At the beginning of the school year, at our opening kickoff, we brought Tony in to talk to all of us as educators about the different things that we've been trying to interpret in our lives around us, from Black Lives Matter to Blue Lives Matter, and how that plays out in the local community and community writ large. And it was wonderful for him to walk in and receive a standing ovation from the full staff of the Danville schools, and for him to enlighten us on any series of perspectives, knowing that these are things that in education we will have to address beyond reading, writing, and math, moving forward to make sure that we build students who are good citizens of the world as well as competent individuals from an academic sense. To that end, board members, I will share with you guys the feedback from our opening. We had a great success, so colorful pie charts all around. And I think you'll see that from covering lots of material, lots of workshops, we have found a pretty good niche in how we open the school up and get folks ready. With that, I'd like to shift to my innovation report, if that's all right. Sure. Our Applied Positive Psychology cohort, which we started last year, our second cohort, will begin Thursday and Friday before Labor Day. We've got about 28 people invited. We're excited to get them up and ready and trained. But even more so, I'm excited that tomorrow we will see the Danville diploma skills in action at the high school. Full effect, live stream, Twitter and Facebook, the first ever student body president debate. We've got 4 candidates, McCollum Morley, Kennedy Walker, Grace Pellant, and Billy Critchfield will take to the stage in Gravely Hall at approximately 12:30. Knowing technology and knowing us, it probably means like 12:37. Hopefully not 12:42, but somewhere in there. Full student body, a host of questions. The students will get up on stage. They will have 1 minute to give their opening remarks. There will be a rotation of questions for about the next 45 minutes or so. They will be given 1 to 2 minutes for closing remarks, all of which will be in front of the full student body, as well as streamed online, Facebook and Twitter both. So if you can't make it, tune in. This is taking full advantage of the technological options that we have, taking full advantage of our presentation skills and creative problem solving. They don't know the questions in advance. They know general issues, and there's been a Twitter feed running all day as students have been posting ideas and thoughts for them to start getting themselves warmed up. So I think it will be a tremendous representation of the capabilities that we have, the students that we have fostered, and ultimately the student body leadership that will commence. So please tune in tomorrow.
All right. Thanks, Keith. Next on the agenda is the data security procedures. Mr. Gover will be enlightening us.
June and July, you guys had the first and second reading on the KSBA policies and procedures, and one of those policy and procedures was a data security breach procedure. And as part of that, there's a KAR that requires the district to report report to you all that we have read that procedure and that we are putting strategies in place to keep our data secure. So that's what I'm here to do tonight. I'll be very brief. Internally, all of our staff have been trained on password protection as far as rights to Infinite Campus and to our UNIS financial system. We have procedures in place to ensure that the people that need the data have the data, and the people that don't need the data do not have the data. If there's ever a breach in that policy, it states what we're required to do, so we're aware that we have to notify state officials and we have to conduct an investigation. Those steps are in the policy as well. So I'm just here to let you know that we've looked at it. We know what to do if there ever was a data breach. And if you ever have any questions or want to know some specific procedures, just let me know and I'll be glad to sit down with you. Any questions?
Any questions for Brian? Thanks, Brian. That's
Thank you.
good to know, and always great to have you handy to answer technology questions. Next on our agenda is the personnel report. We won't be taking action on that, but it's included in the materials, just a summary of personnel action that's happened in the past month. So you'll find it in the board materials. Next on our agenda is the section reserved for the public. Is there anybody here tonight who would like to speak to the school board? Come on up. And don't be nervous, just
Okay.
go ahead.
My name is Taylor Rankin, and I'm a junior here at Danville High School. I've been the president of my class for the past 2 years, and I'm getting ready to run again this year. So several of my classmates have voiced their opinion to me about the new backpack policy, and I just wanted to clarify reasons as to why it was being enforced and if we can come to some form of compromise on backpack usage. To my understanding, at the last SVDM meeting, they claimed that backpacks were being banned as a safety precaution for teachers who might trip over them. I understand this, but backpacks are vital to students that attend school here. As students, we need bags to store books and materials for classes, such as pens, pencils, highlighters, note cards, laptops, and expensive calculators that could be stolen if not stored. Today I went around school with a petition asking students about their opinion on the issue, and I got 95 signatures by the end of the day requesting to bring backpacks back. Personally, I have experienced being late to classes due to the fact that I have to constantly return to my locker, which I haven't been in past years, or forgetting materials in my lockers and having to waste even more class time in order to go back and retrieve them. Also, purses are a concern for girls. I know that I'm allowed to carry this, but it can be difficult to store feminine hygiene products in such a small bag. If we could reach some form of compromise, such as sitting bags to one side of the classroom, using hooks or cubbies, or even having random backpack checks, may be a possible solution instead of getting rid of them altogether. This is a major problem that is affecting the majority of students in this school, and we would really appreciate it if you would consider this proposal. I understand that hooks or cubbies may cost money, so the student council could host fundraisers in order to raise the money. We just want you to know that we are willing to work with you to make this change.
Thank you. Thanks, Taylor. Is there anybody else here tonight who would like to address the board? All right. Next up on our agenda is the minutes of previous meetings. So we'll take a motion on that. And then Taylor, just for you to be able to stay tuned, I think that we may end up talking a little bit about what you were talking about right after. So just if you want to be here to listen. So next on the agenda is the minutes of the previous meeting. Is there a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the July 27th, 2016 retreat, the July 28th, 2016 retreat, and the July 28th, 2016 business meeting minutes. Second.
All right, we have a motion, a second. Any questions or comments about the minutes? All in favor of the motion as stated, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion passes. So next on the agenda is the district standards of behavior handbook. Mr. McKinney. Oh, actually, do we want to get a motion on that?
Make a motion for the approval of the standard of behavior handbook as submitted.
Second.
All right, so now Mr. McKinney.
So, the board is required to adopt the standards of behavior booklet every year. That booklet is a combination, it's a way to communicate board policy, state law, procedures, recommendations for Kentucky Center School Safety. And we have not made a lot of changes to that over the last probably 5 to 8 years. So there's 2 changes that I'm asking the board to consider. One was because we had the 2 readings of the new policy on the parent notes and the reduction of parent notes for illness that the board took up a couple of months ago, maybe 3 months ago. So, but the readings had to be